you some things that we should do in our writing. Great. Sultan Baht Begum can hear me well. Good. Everybody can hear me well, I think. So, good. For the beginning, for approximately 20 minutes, let me give you some suggestions on the things that we should do and we shouldn't do. Today's live. Today's live. Somebody texting me his or her number. I'm sorry. Today's live is going to be devoted on general writing, so what we should do in writing and what we shouldn't do. And this one is going to be kind of general writing for someone who's taking the IELTS task 2 for the first time, or IELTS exam for the first time, because this is my first time, and then I'm not experienced. If today everything is successful, from next lesson on, we are going to be specifically focusing on task 1 or task 2, or maybe speaking as well, or we can discuss some of the things that are specific. So, but today everything is general. I hope you do not blame me for this, and I hope you will get something worthy for your megabytes. Thank you. Probably I can start. If somebody can tell me like start, I can start giving something that we should do in our writing task 2. Thank you. The first thing, read all of the information in the questions very carefully and respond appropriately. I'm going to look to the right side because I have got another computer. I opened up a kind of some do's and don'ts that I've prepared. So the first one is probably you can take a piece of paper and pencil or pen so that you can take notes. So the first thing, we should read all of the information in the task. For example, they will give you the task, and then they give you the question. Read all parts of the question very carefully. For example, the question is like, nowadays young people are competing with old people in terms of job, and they are having some difficulties in getting job. What are the problems may arise, and what can be the solutions? So at the moment, for example, young people and old people are being compared in terms of jobs. If you say, if you are general in your essay, like you say all people, then you may not fully address the task because your task achievement is going to go down, kind of it declines. So therefore, read the question very carefully. So who is it talking about? What is it talking about? What is the task for you? What the examiner is waiting for you? What kind of answer is required here in this task? So the number one is reading all parts of the task very carefully. And secondly, number of words. Probably you may say like, how many words should I write? Task 1 is 150 words. This is minimum. This is the last. At least it must be 150. And in task 2, it's 250. Actually, it. Just a refresh. And sometimes students ask like, do articles or our articles are counted as one word, for example, a or the, or sometimes prepositions of or in. Yes, they are counted as words. That's why do not worry, 250 words is not scary. Actually, it's something achievable. So therefore, don't get scared. But make sure that you have got 100 minimum. It's like bottom line. 150 words for task 1 and 250 words for task 2. Will I be penalized if I write less than this? Yes, it is. You will be penalized. For example, if you have got 130 words, then you lose marks, probably 0.5 you lose. And what about the maximum number? Actually, British Council doesn't say, or the examiner doesn't say the maximum number of words. For example, whether you can write 2,000 or 3,000 words. But maybe there is an approximate. For task one, it can be 170 or 108. And for task two, it can be 300 or maximum 3,320. Because your time is limited. For task one, you have got 20 minutes, and for task two, you have got 40 minutes approximately. And so therefore, you may not have enough time to finish to write 3,000 words. So therefore, it's better to focus on the number of words as well. Well, and the next one, which one should I start first, like task one or task two? Probably task two. It's because task two gives you higher band score. Generally, 2/3 of your overall band score comes from task two, and 1/3 of your great. And more than 1/3 of your band's overall band score comes from task one. So therefore, if you are afraid of having less time than it's expected, if you are afraid of not being able to finish task one and task two fully, then in that case, it's better to start from task two. Because if you cannot finish task one, it's not kind of very scary thing, because I have heard some of the students who could only write task one and introduction for task two, who could only write task two fully and introduction for task one. And then, and after that, they got 5.55 band score like this. So therefore, not being able to finish task one is not really scary. But if you cannot finish task one, it's going to be a little bit maybe bad, because you may not get the band score that you really want. So therefore, starting from task two is good. Task two is good. So next one. Well, when you have got task one, we should use probably this is 3 or 4. So I hope you are putting bullet points or you started counting. If you are writing task one, make sure that you are showing everything clearly, like precise data. Give the percentages clearly, give the location clearly, because if you don't, it's going to be like the reader may not understand what you are talking about. Or if you could remember, we used to say that when it comes to the line graph or bar graph table, the reader should be replicated, should go back to the original graph. So therefore, you have to be precise. Abdullah Zakia says, like, I have got one question. Yes, feel free to ask questions at any time. I am just giving some commands so that everyone can be online and everyone is ready. So if you have got questions, like right on time, keep asking. I'll stop and then I start. I answer the questions. So next one, when it comes to the task to plan it. Well, Abbasaka says, like, is it possible to get 7 from writing? Yes, it is possible. It requires lots of writing, and it requires experience. It requires to analyze other essays, to get good ideas, because essay is not only about good structure, it's not only about vocab, it's not only about cohesion, it's about your ideas, how well you can support your ideas, and other things as well. So yes, you can get 7. It is achievable, but you need to have experience, you need to write lots of essays, and you need your essays needs to be checked. Yes, it's possible everywhere. Abdullah Zakia says, like, is it possible to get 7 in Tashkent? Yes, it is possible everywhere, because the tests are everywhere and they are checked by the examiners, the same examiners. So therefore, no worries, you can get. The only thing that you should focus is like experience and analyzing a lot. Probably I can move on to the next point. Uh, oh, actually, I was going to say like plan your ideas before writing. For task two, it's better to plan your ideas because if you don't, uh, you may lose your time. Like 40 minutes sounds a lot, but some people say like, hey, in 40 minutes I cannot finish writing task two. It's taking an hour. So therefore, for about 10 minutes, plan your ideas, all of the points that you're going to say, supportive ideas, examples, and then once you have got the map of your task two, then you can start. You will write. You will only write. That's it. But if you do not plan while you're writing, you spend time on thinking, on pondering around the answer. So therefore, it's better to plan always. Next point for writing. Support. Sometimes students are very general, like they say, well, maybe using mobile phones is very harmful for our health. It's okay, but how? How? It's like you should always keep in your mind that we should support, support, and support. Mm, yes, we should support because supporting means task achievement. If you support it, then the examiner knows that because the examiner knows why exactly you have got this idea. So therefore, supporting is always necessary thing. And next one, at the end, you should leave approximately 3 minutes or maybe 4 minutes to proofread. This is very essential because while I am personally checking some of the essays, there are some spelling mistakes, there are some punctuation mistakes, and there are some mistakes with the tense, using tense, and there are some mistakes with using relative clauses like a person who or somewhere where, like. So therefore, take time for 3 minutes or 4 minutes to read your essay back, because if you don't, you may not be able to see where your mistake is. Sometimes while we are writing an essay, our mistake is not visible for us. We cannot see what kind of mistake we have. So a good idea is put your essay aside for approximately a day or maybe for approximately 30 minutes, come back later, and then see your essay, read your essay, analyze your essay later. And then by doing this, you can say like, oh, I have got here silly mistake. Oh, I have got kind of spelling mistake here. Well, so that's why this is very advisable for you to proofread. And what else? What else? Oh, next thing. Next thing is make sure that your ideas are relevant because maybe your essay is about business and you're writing about health, then it's not going to be like something. Imagine you yourself reading an essay, reading somebody's essay. Your original topic is about business, but inside your essay you have got something related to your health, something related to the environment. So you will get confused. So therefore, make sure that while you're talking about business, all of the ideas must be related to business. If the essay is about health, and then everything should be related to health. If your essay is about education, that make sure you're talking about universities, schools, kindergarten, morals, behaviors, so educational terms. So therefore, make sure that your examples are relevant to the main topic. Next one, which is very crucial, try to avoid using the same words because I checked one essay and this candidate writes approximately 12 words, if I'm not mistaken, at the moment. 12 words, the same problem, like problem. The word problem is used 12 times, which is not good actually. So therefore, make sure you have got a good ability to paraphrase. For example, problem can be paraphrased like issues. Sometimes we say stumbling block. Sometimes we say challenge. Sometimes you can say like it's going to be problematic using the other form of the word, or you can say like risky or threat sometimes. So therefore, make sure it's very you are paraphrasing the words. And next do is like write as clearly as possible. So while you're writing, handwriting is also a good handwriting is also a must. So if you do not write, if you write something illogical or indiscernible, then it's going to result your overall band score. Um, and something we shouldn't do it. We cannot write bullet points. We cannot write. We cannot number our ideas, and do not leave out any required information. So one more thing is do not memorize essays. It's useless. And then sometimes do not copy and paraphrase the words from the task because it's considered as plagiarism. We need to paraphrase the task. So if I'm not mistaken, that's all. 21 to 22. Now you can ask any questions related to writing. I'm here to reply your questions. Uh, the first question can be like, hey, have you checked my essays? I have given you some essays. Yes, I have started checking essays. I will start giving feedback on Telegram, hopefully, and in person. As soon as I check your essay, you will receive your essay in Telegram. So the first question is like, what about tenses in essay? Make sure you can write all three tenses and make sure you can write perfect tenses. You can get higher band score. For example, in introduction, you can use present perfect. Like you don't say nowadays people are thinking about getting rich, but you can say being rich has always intrigued people like this. Why is that? Because in your essay you should be able to show your grammar. You know that we have got four things. So the first one is task achievement, how fully we can answer the question. Second one is coherence and cohesion, how we can link our ideas. So the third one is lexical resource. This is our vocabulary. And the last one is grammatical range and accuracy. It says like grammatical range, like different types of grammar structures and tenses and other things. So that's why, yes, using different tenses are highly recommended. I think we can move on to next question. Well, Islam Janaka asks like, hey, if you only talk but we cannot, how we can have classroom? So if you've got any questions, you can ask on the comments. I can give you the answers through this one. I think this is gonna be somehow talk between you and me. So I wanted to create an online classroom. My internet was okay, but the internet speed of some of the students was not really excellent. That's why we couldn't create. Abdullah Zakia says like, what do you think about learning new words in early mornings? Maybe Abdullah Zakia is going to relate the question to writing. It's like if we learn some writing related vocabulary. Well, cool idea, but it depends on the person, I think, because some people are night owls, some people are early birds. When it comes to me in the morning, I'm not a morning person. In the beginning of the day, I'll be quite slothful. Like in the morning, I say like, again, working day has started. So therefore, it doesn't work with me. At night, at approximately 2 or 3 a.m., my brain starts working. So that moment is the best moment for me to learn something new. So therefore, I think it depends. When you feel yourself at the peak, like very energetic, it's better to learn new words at that moment. If you feel yourself kind. Thank you too. It was a good question. Maybe I can share the technique that I used to learn new vocabulary. Actually, I used to have a glossary book. Yes, the same like you are having at the moment. You have at the moment. Well, I used to learn lots of words from podcasts and listening materials because if I get something new from listening, I used to write it to my glossary book, and once I repeat 2 or 3 times, I used to listen to the podcast 3 or 4 times so that they are repeated in context, and then they I can clearly remember them. It's like I can easily remember them. So maybe learning from through listening, learning through podcasts can be a useful way of learning. One of the useful ways of learning vocabulary. I think what we should do if we haven't got idea. Yeah, this is a big problem. So what we should do if uh, what we should do when we don't have an idea. So that's a big problem, I know, because even if you know the language, if you don't have an idea, then you can say nothing, or you can write nothing. It's true for our Uzbek and Russian language as well. For example, if somebody asks really difficult question, then we say like, I've never thought about that. So that's true for our own language as well. Uh, and what's the best way of having a good idea? Probably I can share one book with you in Telegram. So I have to take a note for myself. Hold on a second. Probably I have shared one thing with 1 second. Um, I think most of the students are in conversation Telegram group. I have sent speaking vocabulary and ideas. If you go to the end of this book, you can get some ideas on different topics, which you may find useful. If we don't have ideas, I think it's okay sometimes. You can use some experiences from your life. You can get some examples from your own experiences. Well, and maybe one strategy that you can use while writing is thinking about different aspects of life. For example, if you've got a question and maybe it's advantages and disadvantages, say, and you're not being able to generate ideas, think about different topics like think about the pollution, think about environment, think about business, think about education, think about what? Think about policy, politics, think about fame, think about sport, think about crime. So there are lots of topics around our life. There are different aspects of life. Think all of these topics, and then you can get ideas, I hope. What should we do if we? Yes. How can we check our homework, which you gave last lesson? If you are talking about reading, probably probably you can you can you can text me through Telegram. I'll try to send the answers through Telegram. Hi, tutor. Can you send podcasts to new ones? Yes, you have got lots of podcasts in conversation group, uh, and I think there are more than enough. There are plenty of them. Probably you have got more than 50. If you analyze them and if you have already finished, probably I will send some more to the conversation channel. This is the easiest way, I think. Are these repeated questions or tasks in exam? Are they repeated questions? Yes, they are, but generally they they tend to be given in 1 month, AB, maybe, because I have had some situation. Today we had the same situation. Like when I took my second exam, I said like I had this topic, and one of my students is like, hey, I had the same topic. When did you get the exam? I'm like, on the 24th of August. And he says like, I got the exam on the 18th of August. uh, Maybe yes, topics can be repeated, but they are not easily predictable. You can keep asking students what kind of topic they had, uh, but maybe one student, if one student has a topic or gets the topic, you may not have this topic next time. So therefore, I don't know really well the I mean, I don't know the possibility of getting the same question is high or not. So the best way of predicting the answers is like, you can go through all topics, like again, business, education, politics, health, and then getting enough vocabulary on all these topics. I mean, you should have a good vocabulary based on business. You should have a good vocabulary based on politics. So by doing this, you can answer all of the questions, I think. Uh, the questions can be repeated in the exam if you take the exam with someone on the same day. But this was a joke. This was a joke. One more thing, I think, punctuation. So I keep telling you, like, hey, be careful about punctuation, be careful about punctuation. Yeah, we need to be careful about punctuation. It's highly advisable to go online, maybe ask from Uncle Google or Alice, like, hey, Alice, what kind of punctuation rules are there in English? And then Alice gives you uh, lots of say websites. You can go them and then learn some of the techniques, where to use them. In grammar point, there is punctuation. So, and if you don't have a good punctuation, you can be penalized. So therefore, you must make sure that you do not miss all punctuations related. And sometimes using different types of like say semicolon, colon, dash, hyphen, other things may give you some extra score as well. Well, you know that this live is like to get accustomed to online streaming. I told you like this is the first time, and I don't know how you can enjoy the experience. Well, if the situation keeps being the same, then we might have YouTube live. Mm, on Telegram, we're going to have a vote once this live stream finishes. We can vote how well to what extent you like the experience. If we get good, like lots of likes, or if you say like you like the live stream, and then we can create some more. We can maybe you can suggest some of the ways of some ways of how to say making this live stream better, or maybe we can prepare our questions in advance, and then you can ask on that moment quickly, and then we can answer like this. So Malikali Muhammadullah asks like, what about our listening? How many times should we practice, or listening podcasts is enough? Good question. When you have got listening practice, so it doesn't increase your overall band score. It only shows what band score you have it. So when it comes to take the tests, you can do it only to get skills. That's it. Well, in listening to podcasts will increase your overall listening and your understanding. What you should do is like learn new words, listen to podcasts, learn new words, listen to podcasts. But listening to podcasts is not like just put your earphones inside your ear and then it's like enjoy the experience. And some because when we are listening to podcasts, we simply switch off and understand nothing. It's like someone is talking inside our ears, we know, but we do not understand the meaning. So, so therefore, make sure that you can set aside some time and deeply analyze your questions in detail and all of the words that you don't understand. Once you analyze two or three podcasts and learn new words, and then you can take the exam. You can take the test, and then you can analyze podcast, take the test, analyze podcast, take the test, and see your level. By doing this, I think you can improve your listening. But taking the tests on always doesn't mean that you improve. You can only improve your skills, not overall listening. So that's why you have to use both listening and listening podcasts and doing the test. Good idea. What about audiobooks? Yes, they are useful. They are highly useful, mm, because uh, because I also used to listen books, but it depends on what kind of audiobook you are listening to. If it's fiction, it might not help really much because sometimes fiction books use uh, say emotive language or the language that you will never come across in your academic listening. Since your listening is formal language, your book should also be formal. I can advise you to read the book by George Orwell 1984. It uses formal language and formal vocabulary. When you read the book, you can underline all of the words that you don't know and listen. So through listening, all of the words are going to be repeated, and then you can learn the words easily. Yes, listening to audiobooks are very useful, but it depends on what kind of book you are listening. You are reading or you are listening to. So if it's formal, if it has formal language, it's very useful. If it's not, might not be useful for your listening. Sorry, but how we will take the test? Taking the test is through me, or if you wish, I can send some full practice tests. Probably tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll try to send some of the tests, maybe listening or reading, to the Telegram group. You can do it at home. Um, Instead of listening to podcasts, can we just watch serials? Yes, this is also good, but as long as you analyze, it's good because sometimes we watch videos and when we have got new vocabulary shown, like as here, say, how do we call this? Uh, Transcription? No. Subtitle. Yeah. Okay. Good. Subtitle. So when you see the subtitle, there is a new word here, and if you don't analyze this subtitle, then it's not going to be helpful for you. So therefore, it's better to watch the movie once, enjoy the experience, and see the subtitles, analyze all of the words, and watch it again. So I think by doing this, you can increase your vocabulary and listening as well. Everything depends on analyzing, reading, listening, writing, and speaking, everything. So while we are speaking, we may not easily notice our mistakes, including me as well. At the moment, I'm speaking to you, and maybe I'm making lots of mistakes, but I do not realize until I analyze my speech. So after this online streaming, maybe I can watch it, watch it again, and analyze my speech. So this must be true for you guys as well. Like you have to analyze your speech, you have to analyze your writing. In terms of writing, yeah, it can be a little bit difficult because we do not see our mistakes sometimes. But I think I'll be helpful here. And in terms of reading, once we do the test, we should learn new vocabulary and analyze it. When it comes to the listening, we should do the test and analyze. And we should, if we when we get the new vocab, or maybe when we get one incorrect answer, we should say why it's incorrect. And when we see the correct answer, we should see why it is correct or why it is all the time we should be based on evidence. Oh, by the way, there might be one more question from tomorrow on about the timing. Today I chose 9 p.m. Probably from tomorrow on we can have at 6 or at 7 or 8 at any time, but uh, we have to have kind of maybe vote, or we have to have announcement on Telegram maybe. So by doing this, we can manage the time as well. We can change the time. We can fix the time to a certain time, to a certain hour as well. How to do our reading passage faster? Good question. My method, the thing that I use is, we should first of all you should read the question and have a picture about the question. So, for example, what is uh, what they are asking from you, and what we should do. First of all, what we should do is. Um, what you should do is reading the paragraph, reading one paragraph, and going back to the matching headings. So therefore, it depends on the question type. It depends on sometimes the vocabulary you have in reading as well. Uh, so maybe you can read faster by doing this. Analyze the question first, depending on question type, and come back to the reading. While you are reading, keep answering all questions, all types of questions. Read the passage only once. So by doing this, maybe you can economize your time. I hope when we come back to the classroom, we can have one workshop on this, or maybe if there is a requirement from you guys, tomorrow we may have something related on reading. But I am a bit confused in this method. What can I do else? Maybe I think you can create your own method. Maybe someone's bread is someone, they say like someone's meat is someone's poison. One method that works for someone may not work with another person quite well. So therefore, you can create your own method as well. So some students say that they should read the passage first, and then they should analyze the questions. Maybe you can do the same, but it tends to take a lot of time from me. Or maybe some students, they say like, I quickly read the passage and underline the keywords or underline the points that I think important, and then I come back to uh, questions. When I analyze questions, I can easily see where my question is. I go back to the reading passage, and then I can easily find my answers. Maybe this might work as well, but generally for me, it's like when I analyze the question and come back to the reading, I can easily find where my question is. I analyze that point based on my keywords, and then I can easily answer the question. So maybe you can use different methods. Um, Generally, the method reading analyzing the question first works really well with me, but sometimes it might depend on students as well. Maybe one day we can do like this. uh, Probably there are some speaking questions that you find difficult. uh, Maybe I can send some topics to Telegram, and you can see like, maybe this topic is difficult for me, this topic is difficult for me, I have got no idea on that topic, I have got maybe my mind is going blank on that topic. And then if you take some notes on that topic, you can text me beforehand, and when we are online, maybe I will answer to these speaking questions. You can get kind of sample. uh, maybe sample band 8 because I not 9, not 9 because I didn't get 9. Yes, that will be good. On Telegram, one of the students asks like, uh, when we will get our exam results. So it takes 13 days from the examiners to check your essays, to check your listening, reading, and speaking. After 13 days, we will get your results. And actually, they say like 13 days later, after 2 p.m. But sometimes I got my results on the 13th day in the morning, approximately 10 a.m. So it depends, but generally 13 days later. Uh, Computer-based tests. If I'm not mistaken, it was 5 or 8 days. I don't know exactly at the moment. 5 or 8 days. So I think there is a highly likely to be that after 5 days you will get your results if this is computer-based test. But there is a risk that if you take computer-based exam, you might not be able to be very efficient in reading if you are accustomed to underline, to highlight the points in reading passages. But it appears to be easy for some students in terms of writing because you type on computer, not handwriting, and so it can be easy for listening as well. But you cannot take notes, so which can be a little bit inconvenient for some of the students. For me, I have never taken computer-based test except TOEFL. When I took TOEFL, it was a little bit inconvenient because on the screen you will have reading passage and you may not be able to, you are able to highlight, so they give you, but for me it was a little bit difficult. I got, well, it was when I was second course at university, so which means it's been 4 years. 4 years. At that moment, I got 88 from TOEFL, but I didn't really like the experience taking the test on the computer. But if you think it's very kind of convenient way of you for you, then you can take computer based. Yes. Um, Teacher, what can you suggest? What talk before 1 day before exam? I mean, is it necessary to do hard work? I think I got your point. Should we work really hard a day before exam? I actually we should work all the time, not only 1 day before exam. We should work really hard. But when it comes to 1 day prior to the exam, I think it's better to take a good sleep, to take a little bit break, because if you don't sleep well on the next day, your brain may not work well. You may not be able. You may feel yourself a little bit sleepy. So therefore, 1 day before should be, I think. So I think should be focused on revision. So you have to revise all of the idioms that you have learned, all of the vocabulary that you have learned, all of the skills that you have. So I think 1 day before, it's better to have revision than learning something new. Or if you feel yourself energetic and motivated, then why not to learn something new? Because it might help on the exam day. Yes, they say like some people advise you realize. Gulnoza says like, I have an idea. Can each us be prepared for each speaking topic and tell turn by turn? In that case, we can get ideas from each other and we'll be prepared on exact topic. We can change themselves. And tell turn to, I think it's good. I can. Oh, good idea. Good idea. Probably I can be online on Telegram, and maybe we can have both Telegram and YouTube I don't know exactly at the moment. And you can maybe record your voice through Telegram, and we can have speaking. I think that's a good idea. It works really well. Well, there is no one at 7 plus. A little bit boring. In the morning, I was there at 10:30 approximately. Then there are some students who are going to take the exams, so only two or three. And then we worked together till about 5:30 or something. I came back home. Simple, like not fully, but empty. It was full with you, and then at the moment, it's like 2 or 3 days ago. There was no space for the students to do homework or to do something extra, and at the moment there are lots of space. There is lots of space. So let's ask some more questions if you have related to writing task one and task two. Um, and probably we can finish this live stream for today. And then we can write our comments on Telegram or here down below. Maybe I think I can read all of the comments once I finish. And maybe we can fix this live streaming in different ways. We'll try to find other ways as well. Stop, teacher. Stop, teacher. Okay, I got a question. So you can ask. Abdullah Zakia says like, hey, stop. I got a question. Oh, good. Teacher, how to write overall to process task one? Good idea. That's very good question. So you should say how many steps are there in the process. For example, when you have got a process of how to make, say, leather shoes or how to create, how to make computers, and they will be given steps like step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you should write how many steps are there. For example, in general, there are 6 necessary steps to create leather shoes, or there are 6 steps in the manufacture of computers, and that's enough. Sometimes some candidates write like this: overall, there are 6 necessary steps to create computers, starting from something and finishing with something. And that's all. Sometimes it depends on your process as well. If your process includes maybe 3 or 4 steps that includes water, you can talk about this as well. Yeah, that's all. It's really easy actually. uh, I think the easiest task one type is process, because vocabulary will be given. Everything is shown on the process clearly. So what you should do is paraphrase, rephrase, and write it. That's it. Actually, in comparative graphs, how to write overall, you can do like this. In overall or in general, the first graph like this, like this, like this, and in addition, in the second graph, something is like this. For example, the table graph. There has been an increase in the table, or there has been something in the pie chart. So it's better to divide into two. It seems like that's all for today, maybe. It would be very great if you could give me some more ideas of how to create, um, how to no, not intensify, how to make this experience better, how to join extra things and other things, so that I can maybe see you, or so that I can guess, so that you can give questions easily and other things as well. Um, I have got two computers at the moment, and hopefully I will have two computers at the moment, because both are mine. Maybe I can open up Telegram on my next computer, and actually it's open still now, and I can have YouTube here. If you wish, you can text me through Telegram, and I can answer here easily. Or maybe alternatively, I can get some. So we should think. At the moment, yes, good idea. We may use the Emo app to do speaking practice. Yes, we can use Emo. We can use maybe IMO. We can use uh, WhatsApp. I used to have WhatsApp because I used to talk with some of the guys in the United States and in Colombia, and I used to have WhatsApp. At the moment, no, but I can download easily. I can open up a WhatsApp one, and what? Um, mm, yes, we can use both emo and WhatsApp, but the only problem is like we should have fixed time for maybe 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we can call and we can have speaking. That's a good idea. In terms of writing, I think it's easy. We can get task on Telegram, write and send through Telegram, the easiest and the fastest way. Um, Zoom, yes, Zoom was great actually. It worked well with those who have got high internet speed and those who have got Wi-Fi, but it didn't work with the students who have got internet speed is a little bit low. So therefore, it was not very effective way of having online classroom with the Zoom. So I cannot support that method at the moment. I'm going to try creating online classroom through the email if it works. Yes, I wish you good luck. It would be great. Google Duo. Um, I used to teach through Google Duo. We used to have online class with Google Duo, but it was not like a class. It was like face to face. We had one student in the United States, and the next side was me. We talked on the Google Duo. So here I had a whiteboard. I used to write on the whiteboard. It was great, but it was not. I don't know whether it works with lots of people. It works with approximately 6 or 7 students, and I'm not sure about the internet of you guys, of yours guys, because yes, I do have internet, but some of the students don't have high internet speed, so therefore they're saying like, hey, I cannot join you, I cannot do something like this. We may talk, yes, if you come, we can talk. We have limited members on email or WhatsApp. Um, I think it's easily downloadable and easily installed. So maybe if it's possible to create a classroom, yes, we can turn to IMO or emo, so something, and WhatsApp. Yeah. So it's strikingly 10. The time allocated for me is already up. Thank you for you guys joining me today. I know that you are really interested in learning something new, and well, it's over for today. Let's have some discussions on uh, how to make our how to kind of add something to this live stream, how to make our conversation more efficient, and that I would be really happy if you could give me some comments, um, or if you say like we keep using this one and we use alternatively Telegram, we can use both at the same time. And so that's all. That's all. And I think what's good about this YouTube is there's no advertisement, and that's that kind of things. Can you send me reading tab? I going to do it. Yes, okay, I can send. I'll try to send on Telegram on the groups reading materials. Oh, or alternatively, I think I can send. Oh, I think I've got a good idea. I can send reading material probably through Telegram. We can do it once we say like I have done it. Maybe I can go live, so I can live stream here, and then you can ask your questions on the comments. For example, hey, I have got question 12, and maybe you may not be. Oh yes, and then we can analyze here together. I will have the paper myself as well, or maybe I can open up on my next computer. I can say like the question 12 is given from here and such kind of things as well. It was great. Yes, thank you. It was great to talk to you as well. Protect yourself from a good idea. So thank you so much. I'll be protected. I have got some antiseptic gauze and other thing, antiseptic cream, yeah, antiseptic creams and other things. You guys also take care of yourself. So I hope this period is going to come its end, and soon we are going to meet face to face. Thank you. I'm going to click on the end stream button. It was nice to talk to you guys. On Telegram, we're going to continue our conversation, and we're going to give our comments on this live stream, and we're going to find some other ways of creating online classroom. Thank you for today. It was great. Have a nice night.